In 1955, mornings at school felt like clockwork. Chairs scraped back, kids stood, hands to their chests. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It rolled out of every mouth, every day, the same rhythm. Sometimes the teacher added a prayer, soft and steady. No one questioned it. That was just school. You remember the little things, too. Chalk dust hanging in the air, the squeak of an eraser, floor wax in the hallway, teachers in pressed skirts or jackets buttoned high, shoes clicking on tile. It looked ordered, smelled ordered, and that order didn't stop at the pledge. It was on your back, literally. Boys in button-downs, tight. Belts always. Girls in skirts, hems brushing the knee. Jeans, work clothes, not classroom wear. Sneakers, only for gym. Show up wrong and a teacher would raise an eyebrow or send you home. Today it's hoodies and t-shirts, earbuds half in. Back then, your clothes spoke before you did.
And discipline wasn't just about how you looked. It could sting. Rulers slapped against knuckles, a paddle waiting in the principal's office. Sometimes a desk got whacked just to jolt the room silent. Parents? Most nodded along. Spare the rod, spoil the child. You heard it everywhere. By the 70s, courts and lawsuits chipped it away. But in 1955, a swat on the hand was as normal as lunch break. Of course, not every child even shared the same space. In the South, and in plenty of northern towns too, schools were split. Black kids here, white kids there. Two systems, rarely equal. Then came 1954, Brown versus Board of Education. The law said no more. But change crawled in, slow, bitter. Guards standing outside schools, protests on sidewalks. For a 10-year-old in 1952, though, it wasn't debate. It was just the map of life. And while math and history filled the day, some schools carved out time for manners. Courtesy classes, they called them. Shaking hands the right way, saying, "Yes, ma'am," "No, sir." Even practice luncheons, napkins folded neat, forks lined up like soldiers. To us now, it feels theatrical. In 1957, it was serious business. Not all lessons were polite. Some were edged with fear. The Cold War was humming. Teachers wheeled in projectors, played films about communism. And the drills, those everyone remembers. Duck and cover. At the sound of a bell, kids slid under wooden desks, hands clasped tight behind their heads. Bert the Turtle smiled on the reel, promising safety. Looking back, it seems naive. For a child in 1958, it was deadly serious. On quieter days, it was pencil scratching. Handwriting mattered. Whole afternoons drilling the Palmer method. Loops, slants, perfect cursive. Teachers graded for neatness, not just content. Good penmanship meant discipline, respectability. Today, most kids don't touch cursive at all.
A few states bring it back out of nostalgia. In 1955, neat writing was as important as arithmetic, and electives told you where you stood. Girls filed into home ec, stitching seams, measuring flour, rocking baby dolls as practice for motherhood. Boys went to shop, sawdust in the air, hammers striking wood, small engines sputtering on workbenches. It wasn't suggestion, it was destiny. Breadwinner or homemaker, the roles felt solid, like stone. After hours, clubs buzzed. Radio clubs building transmitters from scrap. Stamp clubs trading treasures. Tweezers and albums warm, thin. Homemakers clubs swapping recipes and stitching quilts. These weren't just hobbies, they were identity, places to belong. Over time, television and later video games pulled kids elsewhere. But in 1955, after school meant room 12, some club meeting.
And at least once a week, everyone packed into the gym or auditorium. Assemblies. Flags carried in, songs sung off key, veterans honored, principals booming into microphones. Bleachers creaked, kids shifted restlessly, but the message was drilled in. You were part of something bigger. Today's assemblies leaned sports or safety. The patriotic rituals, they've mostly slipped away. One more piece, easy to forget now, but coming then, was tracking. Schools grouped kids by ability, advanced, average, remedial. Sometimes whole classrooms sorted that way. The bright moved ahead, the struggling were slowed down. It looked efficient, but it also baked inequality deep. By the 1970s, people started pushing back. In the 1950s, it was just how schools ran. When you look back, the list of changes is long. Morning prayers silenced by court rulings, dress codes loosened into jeans and t-shirts, paddles shoved into closets.
Segregation struck down. Courtesy classes gone. Duck and cover replaced by new kinds of drills. Penmanship crowded out by keyboards. Gender split electives dismantled. Clubs reimagined. Assemblies turned into pep rallies. Tracking abandoned. Asked anyone who lived through it, and they'll rattle off the small things. The scratch of the fountain pen catching on cheap paper. The smell of cafeteria hot dogs on Fridays, always hot dogs. A cardigan dusted white with chalk. A principal's tie knotted the same way every day. The details, ordinary then, remarkable now. The chalk thus settled, the prayers, the paddles, the etiquette drills, they echo faintly, if at all. But for those who live them, the memories are sharp. This was school life in 1950s America. Ordinary, rigid, sometimes harsh, sometimes comforting. Traditions that shaped a generation and then, one by one, disappeared.